Jenny Slatin and Sumit Singh's relationship has never been free of drama, but this latest explosive moment may be one of the most shocking confrontations yet. In a tense family gathering on 90 Day Fiancé, the other way, Sumit's aunt launched a verbal attack on Jenny, calling her too old to be with him. What started as a discussion quickly turned into a heated argument that left Jenny humiliated, Sumit conflicted, and viewers stunned. Jenny, a woman in her 60s from California, left everything behind in America to be with Sumit, who is in his early 30s in India. Their love story has been a roller coaster filled with cultural clashes, family objections, and doubts from outsiders. From the beginning, Sumit's parents have been vocal about their disapproval. His mother, Sana, has consistently objected to the relationship, mainly due to the massive age gap and the cultural expectations placed on Sumit as an Indian son. For Jenny, however, love has no age limit. She has fought hard to stay in India, going through visa struggles, emotional breakdowns, and countless confrontations with Sumit's family. But this recent argument with Sumit's aunt takes the drama to an entirely new level. When Sumit invited his relatives over to discuss the ongoing family issues, things started out tense but civil. Jenny hoped this meeting could ease tensions and show that she truly cared for Sumit and his family. Instead, the conversation quickly escalated. Sumit's aunt, clearly unimpressed with Jenny, bluntly stated that Jenny was far too old to be with her nephew. She questioned Jenny's ability to be a proper wife and daughter-in-law, openly doubting how she could fit into their family traditions. The aunt didn't stop there. She accused Jenny of being selfish, suggesting that Jenny had trapped Sumit into a relationship that would rob him of a normal married life, one that might include children and a partner closer to his age. Jenny sat in shock as the words cut deep. Though she tried to stay composed, viewers could see the pain in her eyes. Being insulted directly about her age, in front of the family she has been trying so hard to win over, was more than humiliating. It was heartbreaking. Jenny reminded everyone that she and Sumit were together because of love, not convenience, not force, and certainly not manipulation. She argued that age should not matter if two people are truly happy. Still, the aunt was relentless. She raised her voice, calling Jenny's age a burden and declaring that Sumit's life would be ruined by staying with her. For Sumit, this was yet another impossible moment, caught between his wife and his family. He loves Jenny deeply and has stood by her side through years of resistance. But as his aunt continued her verbal attack, Sumit appeared torn. He did not lash out at his aunt, but he also didn't allow Jenny to face the humiliation alone. He reminded his family that Jenny is his legal wife and that he made his choice. However, the pressure was obvious. Viewers could see the familiar struggle in Sumit's face, the constant pull between loyalty to his family and commitment to Jenny. This clash highlights one of the biggest ongoing themes in Jenny and Sumit's storyline: cultural expectations versus personal happiness. In Indian culture, it is not unusual for parents and extended family members to have a strong say in marriage decisions. For them, Jenny's age is not simply a number. It represents a complete break from traditional values, family honor, and future expectations. For Jenny, coming from a Western perspective, love is what matters most. She has already sacrificed her life in America to be with Sumit, but no matter what she does, acceptance seems impossible. This cultural clash creates endless tension, and this latest insult from Sumit's aunt proves just how deep the disapproval runs. Fans of 90 Day Fiancé have taken to social media to voice their outrage over the way Jenny was treated. Many believe the aunt's comments were unnecessarily cruel and disrespectful. Supporters of Jenny argue that she has shown nothing but dedication to Sumit, and her age should not be used as a weapon against her. Others, however, side with the family, pointing out that Sumit may regret the sacrifices he's making later in life. The divide in fan opinion mirrors the divide in Sumit's family itself, between modern love and traditional expectations. This moment was more than just a family argument. It was a reminder to Jenny of the uphill battle she faces every day in India. She has no family of her own there, no children to lean on, and often feels isolated. Her entire support system is Sumit. When his relatives insult her, she feels both rejected and vulnerable. Despite her strong front, the reality is that the lack of acceptance from Sumit's family continues to weigh heavily on her emotional health. The big question remains: Can Jenny and Sumit truly have a future together if his family never accepts her? While they are legally married, the lack of family approval creates daily tension. Every insult, every rejection, becomes another crack in the fragile balance they try to maintain. Sumit's aunt's outburst has left Jenny humiliated and viewers wondering if this marriage can survive long-term. Will Sumit finally draw a hard boundary with his family? Or will the endless cycle of criticism eventually break Jenny down? Jenny and Sumit's love story has always been one of the most talked about on 90 Day Fiancé, and this explosive confrontation shows why. It's emotional, it's raw, and it forces both the couple and the viewers to question just how far love can go when tradition and family stand in the way. Jenny may have been insulted and hurt, but she continues to fight for her love. The real test now is whether Sumit will stand by her with the same strength, or whether his family's disapproval will eventually win. Jenny Slatin and Sumit Singh have experienced many ups and downs in their 90 Day Fiancé journey in India, and their latest adventure is testing them more than ever. The couple, who met online in 2011 and married in 2021, make their return to 90 Day Fiancé the other way in the season's 7 premiere as fans see them move in with Singh's parents. Though they finally have the parents' seal of approval, this is a reality that Slatin calls really hard for her. "I'm still not used to it," she tells people exclusively after 9 months of living with her in-laws. "I want my independent life back. It's only been Sumit and I together living in our own place, doing our own thing. No one there to boss us around, tell us what to do." Slatin, 67, says of their last 7 years living together on their own. "I'm adjusting. But I have to tell you, it's not easy." Though Singh, 36, loves his parents and is grateful they finally accepted Slatin as a daughter-in-law, he says move is difficult for him too. "In the last 7 years, I grew up as a person as well, and I learned how to be independent," he says. "I was loving it. It's my way, my life, and it was good. But now, with coming back with the family, I'm having a hard time to adjust back in," he admits. "I don't have any timeline because I cannot make any timeline," Singh shares. "Right now, I'm in the middle. My parents definitely want to live with us forever. They just never want to go out of our life because they get their son back in their life after 7 years, so that's why I don't have any timeline." He says the timeline depends on Jenny, but as far as Slatin is concerned, she says she's ready to go. "I want our own place again where I have my own things. It's all put together my way," she adds. "Right now, I don't have that anymore." Despite her desire to move out of Singh's parents' home, Slatin clarifies that she doesn't want to sound ungrateful or anything. "They have accepted me, and it's a big miracle in itself," she notes. "But if it was my decision, we'd be gone. Freedom is gone," she laments. "We stay in our bedroom most of the time." Slatin, a mother of 3 of her own children, says it all feels really strange to be ordered around by a mother-in-law with whom she's around the same age. When Singh's mom tells her what to wear when it's time to pray or gives other demands, she says she wants to tell her, "Leave me alone." Singh concurs, suggesting that it must be difficult for Slatin to be constantly told to change how she does things. "It's like, whatever you're doing is wrong. Learn my way. Forget what you've been taught throughout your life," he says of the dynamic between his mother and his wife. Discussing their long-awaited return since they were last seen on the show in Season 3, Slatin admits there were no apprehensions when deciding whether or not to come back, adding that they were so excited when they received the call. She adds that they're thankful for the opportunity and are so lucky to be so beloved by fans. "I mean, it's better than being one of the hated couples," she reasons. "We are honored," Singh adds. "It's great. Feels great." Singh, when reflecting on what their time on the show has taught him, says it's all about learning to just live your life. To their detractors, he says, "If you like watching us, okay? If you don't like watching us, it's fine." Slatin says their journey in the 90 Day Fiancé universe so far has taught them to just don't give up. Love each other hard as you can. Hold on to each other and fight together. That's the main thing, she says. As long as you both are in it together for the same reason, it'll work out. We like to show that what we fought for was worth it, and look at us now, she adds. That's all I can say, look at us now. 90 Day Fiancé. The other way couple Sumit Singh and Jenny Slatin have been on the fence about where they would spend their married life together for the longest time. Sumit and Jenny have been a couple for more than a decade. One of the most loved couples in the franchise, there were many moments in their storyline where fans were convinced Sumit and Jenny wouldn't make it. Sumit was called a scammer. Jenny was ridiculed for dating a man who was literally half her age. At 60, Jenny should have lived in the US with her daughters and grandkids. However, Jenny made the right choice by choosing her own happiness. Catfish Sumit loves Jenny dearly. He did not scam her or use her for a green card. Sumit didn't show any interest in moving to America. He never forced Jenny to marry him quickly. Jenny, too, kept defending Sumit whenever there was criticism of him. The couple proved all their critics wrong with their successful marriage. Jenny and Sumit have recently been in the news for revealing their youthful transformations. Jenny and Sumit met in 2012 when he added her as a friend on Facebook to play online games. Sumit worked at a call center where he used the moniker Michael Jones to talk to customers, and the same was the name of his Facebook page. Sumit became friends with Jenny on Facebook but continued talking to her while pretending to be Michael. She fell for his catfish persona, and like Sumit, Michael was 25 years old when Jenny was 55. They referred to each other as husband and wife in their Facebook posts. Sumit continued the act for a year, but eventually, guilt got the better of him. He told Jenny that he was Sumit, a 25-year-old man from Delhi. They decided to do a Skype call where Jenny saw the real Sumit for the first time. Jenny realized that the smart and funny Michael was just Sumit's extended persona. Jenny decided to forgive Sumit because she thought he was cute. Jenny was embarrassed that she was catfished. She didn't even tell her daughters about it. Jenny's daughters knew of the Sumit that their mom had fallen in love with. Jenny went to meet Sumit in India. However, Sumit never told anyone that Jenny was his girlfriend. Sumit introduced Jenny as his Facebook friend. Jenny lived with Sumit's family at his house. She became good friends with Sumit's mom Sadhna as well. Sumit's parents saw their son sneaking into Jenny's room at night. That's when they realized Sumit and Jenny were having a physical relationship. Once Jenny left for the US, Sumit's family decided that he had to end his relationship with a woman twice his age. Jenny was so much in love with Sumit that she wanted to physically be with him. She was making a big sacrifice by moving to India, but Jenny's visa was approved in Other Way Season 1, and she moved to be with Sumit. Sumit had not told Jenny that he had been secretly married to a woman of his parents' choice and had been living with her for the past few years in his parents' house. He rented a different house for Jenny to live in and spent time together with the American woman away from his family. Jenny was in for a shock when Sumit's wife showed up at her doorstep. Sumit's wife's father came there to tell Jenny that Sumit had been married to his daughter for 2 years. Sumit's in-laws wanted to take him to the police, and Jenny too, because she was with a married man. Jenny parted ways with Sumit and went back to the US when he promised her he would divorce his wife for her. Sumit kept delaying the divorce for the longest time. Sumit also had to pay $20,000 in a divorce settlement. Even though Sumit was divorced now and free to marry Jenny, he kept delaying it. Sumit's hesitance made it seem like he was taking Jenny for a ride. He claimed he was scared of marriage. In reality, he was scared his parents would disown him for going against their will. Meanwhile, Jenny moved to India again in the Other Way Season 2. This time, Jenny stayed for good when COVID-19 restrictions stopped her from flying back home. She overstayed her travel visa and even thought of getting a missionary visa by becoming a Hare Krishna devotee. In April 2021, Sumit and Jenny tested positive for COVID-19 during the second wave in India. COVID-19 restrictions, including India's lockdown, affected her wedding plans. However, Jenny had sworn that nothing was going to stop her from marrying Sumit this time. Jenny and Sumit got married a few months later without his parents' knowledge. However, since India doesn't support dual citizenship, Jenny wasn't ready to give up her American citizenship. It appears Jenny still lives in India on a tourist visa and moves in and out of the country every 6 months to extend its validity. In 90-Day Diaries, Jenny and Sumit went on their first international vacation together to Thailand, where they met with co-stars David and Annie. David, who now works as a real estate agent, had an apartment in the Jomtien Beach area of Thailand that he wanted to sell to Sumit and Jenny. The apartment is currently on sale for 2.1 million Thai baht because Sumit didn't purchase it. Sumit wanted to purchase the condo, but Jenny didn't agree to move to a new country. She'd just received Sumit's parents' acceptance and had settled into domestic bliss in India. Getting ostracized and being cut off from his family affected Sumit. Sumit's father was the first who started warming up to the couple. Sumit's mother took a long time to come to terms with having a woman who was older than her as her daughter-in-law. It eventually did happen, and Jenny made India her permanent home. Thailand was something that Sumit considered, since he thought of it as a new adventure. At 65, Jenny craved a quiet life, but young Sumit, who had never traveled outside of India, wanted to explore other countries. As of November 2024, Sumit and Jenny are still living in India. They celebrated both Diwali and Halloween, which fell on the same day in 2024, on October 31st, with much glee. Sumit posted clips of him lighting crackers with his wife and cooking delicious fried food. It's been 3.5 years since Sumit and Jenny were married. There's a chance that Sumit might have applied for an American visa, and he's still waiting for it. It remains to be seen if the 90-day fiancé, the other-way couple, will ever live together in the US. Jenny Slatin and Sumit Singh's eagerness to be featured again on the 90-day fiancé franchise suggests possible financial struggles they may be experiencing. Originally from Palm Springs, Jenny was content living a single life in the United States when she first connected with her Indian husband, Sumit, on Facebook. Although Sumit initially catfished her on social media, Jenny was enamored by his personality. After starting a relationship with him online, Jenny traveled to India, where she faced cultural differences that hindered her from marrying Sumit. The couple couldn't plan a future together despite being deeply in love. After years of struggling, Jenny and Sumit finally tied the knot in 90-Day Fiancé, The Other Way Season 3. They defied Sumit's parents' wishes, leading to family arguments. When Sumit informed his parents about the wedding, his relationship with them deteriorated further. His parents disowned him and forbade him from returning to them. Thankfully, Sumit and his family eventually reconciled. They accepted Jenny as part of their family, which inspired Sumit to consider starting his own family with his wife. The couple remains childless as of December 2024. 90-Day Fiancé star Jenny Slatin's often been considered an unlikely mate for Sumit Singh, but he recently honored her on her 67th birthday, and later on, the two danced joyfully outside. For Jenny, the latest installment of Scorpio season has been so fulfilling. Every time Sumit gushes about their love, she must think back to when it wasn't so easy. Everyone was against her, but she learned how to fight her own battles. Clearly, she believed that Sumit was worth fighting for, and maybe he was. Now that he gets less shade from his toxic mother Sadhna Singh, who used to strongly disapprove of Jenny, it looks like Sumit can really be himself and show his love. Maybe he loved Jenny all along. She forgave him for catfishing her in the beginning, preferring the real Sumit to the imposter. That's actually sort of romantic. Sumit can count on Jenny through thick and thin. In the photo accompanying the post, Jenny and Sumit smiled, and both appeared to be at peace. While Sumit seemed like a real wimp at times, he had his troubles too. Growing up with parents who withheld love when he didn't follow the rules must have been grueling. Now, he can just be himself. Things are a little better between Jenny and his parents. That was really the biggest thorn in his side. Seeing Jenny enjoying her life without the usual heated arguments and belittling by her in-laws is amazing. When no one's putting her down and trying to make her feel bad for simply existing, she blooms. Sumit seems to be blossoming too, really relaxing into a relationship that is right for him. No one gave this couple the freedom to live. Everything was under a microscope. Nothing was good enough. But the truth is that both are good enough.